Fear of rejection is the number one thing that's keeping guys invisible to women, and this is how to overcome it. The first thing that you need to know is the fear of rejection, whether it's in dating life, friendships, business, it is all a part of evolution and a primal instinct. The reason being is our brains are 2 million years old and they've always been wired to keep us safe, to protect us from harm or things out there. When you actually understand this number one thing alone, that your brain is actually trying to work against you, when you have the awareness on this, you are already 50 levels up. Because when you see that lady and you want to go approach her, you can expect that your mind's going to say, no. You're going to start to feel fear. You're going to start to feel anxious. And you know what? It's completely normal. That's what your brain's actually been wired to do. So when you actually separate yourself from your brain, that is empowering and it gives you all the control to know that you can go up and speak to that woman with confidence. In dating, men attach self-rejection to self-worth. They think of things, if she says no, then that means I'm not good enough. And if you actually want to know the real truth, most rejection is not even about you. It could be about the timing or the mood that that girl is actually in. Ladies' emotions are always fluctuating, going up and down. There's actually just a good chance that you might catch her at a bad time or just not in a good mood and it just doesn't work out in your favor. But the good news for you is you don't need to take this personally. Because when you're in the masculine frame, it's all about being steady, calm, and just being a rock. You want to be unshakable. If you do get the rejection for any reason, you politely accept it and be a good man and say, you know what, that's totally fine, I respect that, have a good day. And then you move on to the next one. Because when you start to respond in this way, it starts to empower you and realize that you're actually a lot more in control than you actually think. You're actually scared about the fear of rejection more than actually rejection. Let me repeat that one more time. You have a fear of rejection more than actually getting rejected. It's just a fear. It's an illusion that's in your mind. You need to reframe the fear. If you get rejected, that means you're courageous enough that you actually went up and tried, which 99% of most men don't do. Also need to understand rejection is just feedback. It's not a verdict. Also, her no doesn't mean that you're not good enough. It just may not be the right time or she's just not feeling the vibe. The quickest way to overcome fear of rejection is just start speaking to everyone. When you're in public places, whether it's the supermarket, gas station, just spark up a small conversation and this will allow you to build social momentum. Once you've got social momentum and you're having these small conversations on a day-to-day basis, it will start to feel way less intimidating when it comes to actually going up and approaching that girl. You also want to see rejection as a data point, not who you actually are. You need to know that every time you get rejected, it will get easier and easier and easier. It will eventually put you into a top tier status where you will no longer fear rejection anymore, and this will take you so far in so many different avenues of your life. To minimize the fear of rejection, you want to focus on minor outcomes and not the major or main outcome. You're probably thinking, I need to get her number, connect with her on socials, but look, I want you to reframe that. What you can do instead is actually make the outcome to see if you can actually just make her smile, or if she can actually respond to you. Even if she rejects you, but she still responds to you and politely declines, then that's positive. She knows that you're there. She respects you. She's taking the time to politely reject you. I honestly used to fear rejection a lot. I was extremely intimidated when going up to women, but one day I had enough and I just gradually flipped the script. What I will say to you is those first few rejections are the toughest of them all. I don't want you to think that it's easy. I want you to expect that it's hard, but I also want you to know that once you actually get over this barrier, you're going to unlock a whole new level of dating life that most men do not have access to. This is the exciting part. When you understand that 99% of men suck at this and they do not do it, this gives you so much leverage and so much to stand out from all the rest of the men that are out there. I remember on my first few rejections, it did hurt my ego, but I eventually knew that it was a part of the process, and I knew that the more I did it, just like anything in this life, the better I was going to get. I learned how to respect rejection as well and not let it hurt me or my ego. I understood that that girl might have a boyfriend or she might not be in the mood. It doesn't matter, whatever it may be, that's her issue. For me, I'm moving on to the next one. So you actually want to reframe things as well. You actually want to see how many times you can actually get rejected. I know it sounds weird, but you don't always want to focus on the outcome of how many numbers could I get this week or this year. You actually want to look forward to rejection, because in rejection is all the growth. You need to get rejected because it's the very thing that's going to actually give you the confidence to become in that top tier category. Next time that you are afraid of approaching women, look forward to rejection. because it's the very thing that you want, because it is the very thing that's going to help you grow and grow into that top tier category. You need to retrain your nervous system. Every rejection equals one step closer to ultimate freedom and living a luxurious dating life. Just remember, rejection isn't the enemy. The fear of being invisible is. Go approach one girl this week with no agenda, just say hi. You will soon see how small rejection really is. I work with a small group of men in my community helping them with this very thing. If you have issues when it comes to cold approach, talking to women, or how to actually obtain the women or even retain the women, even if you're in a relationship and you're wanting to make your partner feel more attracted to you, just send me a DM and I can help. The main thing is have fun with this, because at the end of the day, you are the prize, and it's about making you the best version of yourself. Because when you actually start to overcome the fear of rejection, it's starting to put you in a top tier category where more options are going to open up and you're going to be more in demand.